Hi everyone, Therese here. Welcome to this week's Karma Cards. We're in another one of those super ramped up, crazy energy windows again. And I feel like, I don't know why I say that like it's going away when I know on some level it's not. This is sort of the new normal. I think there's a part of me that's in resistance to that, just doesn't want to believe like it just keeps ramping. But we really are in this new energy level. We go up in these ascension levels all the time, and we're just at another one. We've been here since April 8th, and we will continue to hang out here. But today, as I'm talking to you, it is May 2nd. I wanted to record this on May 1st. The energy yesterday was so insane that all I wanted to do was sleep. It was so hard to motivate. I had everything set up, and I'm like, I can't do it. I was so tired. So if you think back, by the time you're listening to it, think back to Wednesday, May 1st, Thursday, May 2nd, if you're watching this after those dates. And let me know. I mean, obviously you're watching it after the 1st because I didn't even record it yet. But if you're watching it and it's not May 2nd when this gets released, think back. How are you feeling on those days? Right now, as I'm recording, the KP index is at a 7 out of 9. So that's high, which means we're having a lot of geomagnetic storms and we're having moderate solar flares on top of that. So people feel all sorts of things right now. During these energy waves, we also do a lot of processing for our collective. So if you find that you're emotional, but you're not sure why, if you're not sure it's yours, you can muscle test on that and see, are you processing for just yourself, or are you doing some help processing for the collective? There's just a lot going on energetically, and it will continue to increase as I'm told. We're constantly being monitored, and I'm getting this information through the channelings I'm doing with the Arcturian Council. So if you want to hear those, check out the Modern Mystic Soul podcast, or you can hear them live at the spirit circles that happen every new moon and full moon. And there's actually a new moon spirit circle coming up on May 7th. There is the new moon in Taurus. So if you want to hear it live and hear exactly what they're telling you is happening for us at the time that I get the message, you can go to this link here. It'll be in the description below and join us for the next spirit circle, as well as doing manifestation work and ritual work to help align you with the highest timeline that you desire to be on and how to align yourself with that and call it in. So if you're interested, check it out. Go to blythestarlight.com/spirit-circles. So the message this week from the team is to recognize that we are seeds that are planted here. And what they mean by that is like, so it's in the word star seed, right? We're literally star seeds. We come from another place. You're being planted here. And I know a lot of people who resonate with the term star seed or light worker or wanderer. If you resonate with that, you might be feeling like, okay, I have a big mission, but I don't know what it is. And the team is saying, just like a seed is coated with the tree or the plant or the flower, it's going to become, so are you. So the coding of what you are to become already exists inside of you. There's nothing you have to do. And in fact, we're already planted in the fertile soil. If you think about the metaphor they're giving us, how do you grow a seed? You have to plant it in the darkness so that it will sprout and reach for the light. And what a great metaphor, because think about this plane. Think about some of the stuff you're seeing here. I know a lot of people comment and say how dark it feels, but it's the fertile soil in which we will bring forth the new earth. It's coded in you, meaning you're here to help bring that about. And simply by being planted here and growing, you're going to reach the light that you seek. And I feel like that's a lovely message. It takes a little bit of the pressure off, because I know when you have that feeling like there's something I'm here to do, it's really important. And it can be easy to go into that place of wondering, am I doing it? Did I do what I came here to do, or did I miss it? What if I didn't know I was supposed to be doing it? Have I messed it up? Am I doing it wrong? The answer is no. You just need to bloom, right? Just bloom, just reach for the light. just like a flowering plant would do. It would reach for the light. It instinctively knows to grow and reach upward until it reaches the light where it can fully bloom and manifest into the version of itself it was always meant to become. And that is just like us, right? We are special seeds. Everyone who's here, doesn't matter if you resonate as a star seed or not, everyone here has that beautiful potential, right? So even if you feel like, no, what if I feel like I'm of human origin and this is my planet, then you're still here to bloom and grow into your potential. And so they're asking for us to go into that deeper place of trust. It's the same with a baby being born, which is another analogy they've been throwing around, right? Like they talked about the crowning, and they're still giving me that card. They're like, yep, the crowning is still happening. I'm like, great. We're still in that birth canal. We're still like, we're just peeking out, but we still have some ways to go. Just like a baby, there isn't something where the baby's like, I don't know what to do. There's an instinct. There's the body, the universe or the body of the mother is helping the baby do the job, but the baby has an instinct as well. And we will feel that kicking in the closer and closer we get to that precipice. We'll just know it's just going to happen. It's going to feel so natural. It's going to feel like the right thing to do. So whatever it is that we're here to do, we'll grow into, bloom into, hold space for, transmute, whatever the job is, it's coded in you. And there's nothing to freak out about. When the time comes, whatever it is we're meant to do will naturally happen. And so this week's sort of a message of just reassurance and letting you know, like, it's all in you. All of the information that you're going to need to access activates at the right time. And if it's not coming to you right now, it doesn't mean you're not going to get it. It just simply means like it's not ready. It's not time yet. Like just allow yourself to continue germinating and allow for change to happen. I think that's the only thing that we can do is sort of like not resist the change. Change is going to happen. It's part of the process. And if we can just relax as things shift, it'll make it a lot easier for us. And that includes on days where it's really hard, where just like, let's take it down to the personal level. It includes days like today or yesterday where you might have plans and things that you need to do. And the energy just asks you to do something else. The energy asks you to cocoon more or stay low or regenerate or disconnect from the outside and connect more with yourself. Whatever it's calling you to do, allow yourself to trust that more. I know for me, I get bummed out because I have a plan, right, that I want to follow. And I feel like doing my plan means that I am staying on track with my commitments. And I still have to practice that ability to adapt and have flexibility and know that there is sort of a divine order to how everything is happening. Whether or not it fits with my immediate plans or not, I'm going to choose to trust it rather than to resist it so that I can feel more at peace while we're going through these shifts and transitions. And I just wanted to share that information with you. So with that, let's look at this week's karma card. If you're new to karma cards, let me quickly show you how these work. I have 3 decks here, planet signs of the zodiac and the houses of astrology. And I've already asked my team, what is the message for this week? And I've got 2 sets of answers, a set in red, which are action related, and a set in blue, which are outcome related. And the way that you play is you tune in with that beautiful intuition of yours and feel what is the guidance you're looking for this week. Is it action? Is it outcome? And of course, you can always choose both. And while you're choosing, let me tell you the timing for this reading. This reading is from May 2nd through May 8th. And the flavor of this reading, ruh-roh, just kidding. We've got Pluto here. Now, Pluto is the power purge planet, and it's the one that guarantees that if what's happening is not empowering you, it's time to purge it. So this is going to be about shifting and changing, and sometimes it can feel a little uncomfortable. in the sign of Gemini. Now, this is the first sign that's connected to the planet Mercury, which is a fast moving planet. So it's about communication, it's about information and speed, like speed of delivery. In the second house deals with wealth, it deals with possessions, and it deals with what we value. So our values and the things that are valuable to us, like possessions and money. So, for those who are choosing action, your spiritual action at this time is to resurrect what you want to be known patiently. I feel like this is sort of tapping into something deeper inside of us, kind of going along with the message that the team gave earlier. It's the resurrecting of the soul contract, what you want to be known. I feel like more like that's what you want to know. What you want to be known is what you want to express. But since Gemini also is about learning and knowing, I feel like trust that this code, this blueprint, your past understandings is coming up. That is one of the things that happens as we get closer and closer. Memories start kicking online. And so it's, again, having patience with not only learning that, but then being able to express what you're learning. And it's allow that to come up. The resurrection that this card is talking about feels very much like it's coming up and out of you. So allow that to come through rather than trying to stifle or suppress it. Mental action at this time. Get to the heart of what is believed about what you want. Again, so this is asking us to go deeper with what you desire to manifest or create in your life, right? Like what's behind it. So a technique that's often used when we're trying to understand why we're desiring something is to ask, what does that give me? Or what do I think I'm going to get for getting that? For example, if someone's asking, they're saying they want to manifest money. Money isn't the end reason. That's a means to something. So asking yourself, what is that going to get me? And underneath that is an answer. And what is that going to get me? Like, see how deep you can go. So it's asking you to drill down a little bit more, what you believe about what you want. So a lot of times we layer stories on top of the things that we want. We have these core needs or desires, a feeling state we're trying to get to. And then the stories are usually the justifications around that. Like, I never had that, or I feel like I want that, something like that. So kind of breaking it down, pulling it apart and looking at what do I believe about this? Many times when we're manifesting, we're trying to draw in something we believe we don't have. And I feel like the subtext of this reading is like, you already have it. So what do you believe about what you're asking for? Do you believe you don't have it? Do you believe it's been kept from you? What's the core? Why are you asking for it? Get a little deeper into that and help yourself understand what your deeper thoughts are about whatever it is you're desiring to create in your life. Okay, here's where the drama of Pluto comes in. Physical action, do or die. You must use the quickest way and get what you need. I feel like the quickest way is to ask yourself why. That's just what keeps coming up. It's like, again, we got to drill down to figure out what's motivating behind all of this. Like, I need to figure out what the underlying thought or belief system is, or I have to find out what I'm really valuing here, which is what the second house would ask you, is what do you really value here? Because until we're connecting with that, asking ourselves to motivate or change or move towards something we believe we don't have is going to be very difficult. Once you understand the thought process behind it, you can actually make quite rapid change. It's not always the external world, but your experience of it and how you're calling it in, and your energy shifts almost immediately. So it's asking us to sort of get in there, get down to the heart of it. That's the quickest way, and the quickest path to digging down is always why. Why do I think that? Why am I motivated by that? What do I believe I'm going to get if I get that? All right, now let's look at outcomes for Pluto in Gemini in the second house of wealth and values. The spiritual outcome at this time is the need for control of information to explain your beliefs. I find this to be really interesting. Control is not necessarily what I would call like a high frequency way of being. So that need to control. If we find that we're telling ourselves a false story, which we do all the time, and we don't do that intentionally, I don't I would never assume that someone's intentionally lying to themselves to keep information away, but we do tend to have some things in our life that we're viewing through a skewed lens. And because of how we're interpreting the information, we tend to want to protect ourselves from it. And that can end up being a form of like internal gaslighting. Like we're just not seeing it clearly. And I feel like because of this intense need by Pluto to sort of purge or something, that again, it's an intense feeling. Pluto is not a gentle planet. It's kind of abrasive in its approach, because it's like, imagine, okay, here's a great example of how Pluto behaves. Let's pretend we're hoarders, and Pluto is one of those companies that comes over to help you unhoard your life, right? Like it comes in and it wants to clean out all the stuff that you are accumulating, and it wants you to look at it and confront you with it, right? It wants to be very like, look at this, look at what you're doing here. It feels abrasive, right? It's asking you to look at something that you don't want to look at. And if you've ever watched that show, you often see people who they can't they can't get on the same page with everybody else because they've told a story about why this is necessary. And it's really hard when they're confronted with that, right? That it's an abrasive experience. And so they're saying that this Pluto energy this week is sort of an abrasive look at your beliefs. What do you think is happening here? And our beliefs sort of build our perception. And so if we're afraid to reevaluate our beliefs, it can feel very abrasive. And there is kind of this need to sort of like clamp this down and be like, zip it, enough. I don't need to go deeper. I believe what I believe. Right now, the universe is like, but is it a belief that's in alignment with your highest good? Or is it a belief that's fueling you towards what you want? Or is it a self-limiting belief that keeps you held back and you keep asking to be free of it? And so here we brought our Pluto, our specialist, to help you free yourself from this. But it's going to feel a little intense, right? Mental outcome at this time: an obsession with communication about what you value. So again, as we're asked to sort of dig in and into our belief, it's almost like this is, once you get in there and you start working around and you start recognizing what it is you value and what is the core belief system, it can also be very kind of intoxicating, because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of seeing how I operate on a certain level. And so wanting to, like, if you can get past the resistance and past your own like natural defensiveness towards sort of being discovered, which some people have more than others, but if you can get past that, then it becomes like a whoa, because again, Pluto represents going down deep or going into the underworld. There's so many gifts down there. It's like gold and treasure buried underground. There's so much buried in our psyche and our subconscious that, yeah, there's some things that are like hard to look at. But once you understand what you're looking at, it's like finding a bunch of gold. And the desire to keep digging could kick in and make you want to go even deeper, or just kind of hang out there and really like investigate. Physical outcome at this time: a power struggle resulting from the fluctuations of your resources. Interestingly enough, the resources that I'm being told this is referring to is your energy levels, which is one of the things we're contending with, right? So like I said earlier, there's a lot of different energy going on that's causing people to feel exhausted, tired, weird, very emotional. Stuff's coming up for them that they like. This whole power purge thing isn't really by appointment, meaning you don't get to decide, okay, today I'm going to go in there. It's like, no, here, you're in, like, ding dong, it's here, it's happening right now. Like, we're coming in, we're going to do this. And so it can be really emotional. And because you feel sort of blindsided by it, we struggle. We're struggling with that. We're like, no, I don't want to do this right now. What I want to do is I want to go for a walk, or I want to work on my projects, or I need to, focus on my family, whatever it is. And it's like, nope, this is what you're doing right now. And so there's sort of this push pull, again, resistance around doing this, and the resources that they're talking about, and the fluctuation of energy, your physical energy. So let's say your energy is good and you're like, meh, you know what, I'm actually feeling pretty energized by this. And this comes to your door. You're like, great, okay, fine. Yeah, let me meditate on that. Let me journal. Let me dig in there. Let me just look at what's coming up for me and assess it. Where others might be like, I can't even get motivated to get dressed today. I am so exhausted. And the minute I get up, I just want to lay back down. And now I'm being bombarded with all this emotional energy about looking inside and digging and clearing and trying to understand how my beliefs create my perception, and I'm just kind of over it. And so it's kind of like, I want to shut this off. I don't want to do this right now. And it's not really giving us that option. And so it's like, imagine if they were knocking at the door and you're like, I don't want to do this right now. And it just keeps knocking. And so it's that kind of push pull. So again, understand that that's not all happening to torture you, although it could feel not fun. It's not meant to torture you. It's meant to help you. You've been calling in something. You've been asking for something. And like I said, the universe is like, let me send our specialist out to help clear out the stuff that's in the way so that when we bring things to you, you can recognize it and allow it and absorb it and take it in rather than constantly being at a mismatch with it because it's not looking how you thought it should look. That's probably because of a perception you're holding. And once we can help you release it, then when we bring it to you, you'll recognize it. So it's for our highest good and it's with love towards us. Yet it might feel this week like, why won't you leave me alone? Like, why do I have to constantly be confronted with it? And it's because they're trying to help you clear it out. It's a really good time to clear it out because between now and the 7th, we're still in the release window. So anything you're finding right now that's not in alignment with your highest good or the life you desire to lead or the image of yourself that you hold, it's a good time to look at it, understand it, integrate what you can integrate, and release what you can release. And with that, I'm right there with you. And I'm sending you so much love. Mwah.